during this difficult time in policing. It's 5 o'clock. Time for continuing complete in the line of duty coverage on the air and streaming live at KESQ.com.
You're watching KESQ, the desert's news leader. This is News Channel 3, live at 5.
In the line of duty, the tragedy in Palm Springs bringing together thousands from all over the United States to pay their respects to officers Vega and Lesley Zerebny. The procession to the Palm Springs Convention Center was met by so many people lining the streets. We brought you 4.5 hours of coverage on today's service right here. Tonight we begin our coverage with News Channel 3's Galli in Palm Springs with our live mobile newsroom with more on the moving 3-hour service held today at the Convention Center. Joe.
Well, John, not a dry eye could be found in the entire Convention Center. Probably one of the most emotional moments in the history of Palm Springs as thousands gathered to remember these fallen heroes. The sound of bagpipes filling the Palm Springs Convention Center for the beginning of the memorial service for fallen Palm Springs police officers Lesley Zerebny and Vega. Vega's casket was carried into the convention center. Sources tell us Zerebny was cremated before the event. A crowd of more than 15,000 people, including politicians, residents, and hundreds of family members paying their respects for two of Palm Springs' finest. Several dozen of Officer Vega's large family shared fond moments and memories of a phenomenal father, mentor, and officer.
I felt some consolation knowing he died doing what he loved to do. It was his day off. He volunteered. Okay?
When I think of how we can move forward as a united country, I think of my uncle. He was the best of what all Americans value. His life mattered.
He will be watching us. He won't ever leave us. Even though we can't see him, doesn't mean he can't see us. But everything I learned was from him.
Family photos of both officers accompanied by music were used as breaks between speakers, including the song Hallelujah, sung by the Canadian group The Tenors. Officer Lesley Zerebny's family was represented by Zerebny's cousin, Pastor Joe Anady, sharing how Zerebny was a committed police officer and even more so, a loving mother to her 4-month-old daughter, Cora.
You could see it in her eyes. She was so committed to being a good mother to her. She was so tender and nurturing, so engaged. Leslie loved her job very much, but it was so hard for her to leave Cora at home and to go back to work.
She loved to brag about everything from Cora's first gaze into her mother's eyes to the first time she heard Cora's laugh. Leslie was a wonderful mother. She loved Cora endlessly.
Friends of the family also talked about the relationship between Leslie and her husband, Zach Zerebny, a Riverside County Sheriff's deputy.
All of us were so proud to see such a beautiful young couple start careers in law enforcement and get married. It's like we're all your dads, Zach. We're just so proud of you, both of you.
It takes a special person to don the boots we wear and step into a world where certainty is rare. We bravely venture where others never would, fighting to ensure that evil never triumphs over good. It's a calling that's reserved for just a chosen few, represented here today by this sea of tan and blue.
Attention all units. This is an end of watch broadcast for Police Officer Vega.
This is an end of watch broadcast for Police Officer Lesley Zerebny. Officer Zerebny passed away on October 8th, 2016 from a gunshot wound sustained in the line of duty.
And many of the people at the memorial service were also calling for the end of violence against law enforcement officers. You can see that part of the story coming up right here live on KESQ News Channel 3 at 6 o'clock.